I never imagined that by the age of 32, I was going to be diagnosed with cancer, and not only have one kid with disability, but a second kid with disability on the way. I want to tell you guys my story today because it's pretty crazy. Okay, so my name is Julia Ehrman, and my husband and I live on a small farm in East Tennessee, and it didn't start this way. The way that our life looks today is not how we thought it would look. Okay, so let me start from the beginning. So when we got married, we lived on a small lake in Redmond, Washington. We spent our weekends on the lake canoeing, drinking warm coffee, rock climbing, camping, doing all the things. We literally would sit at our community group and think, what's wrong with all these other married couples who seem to not really like each other? Because we got along. We'd been married for 5 years, and we decided to start trying for our first child. And our pregnancy was perfect. We had Hazel in July 28th, 2017. She was perfect, and she was one of the only girls in our family for like a while. And so everyone was shocked when she was born. She was a girl. We waited to find her gender. Then day 2.5 of life came. She was at home and she started acting funny. She was arching her back, and we just thought it was normal baby stuff. The next day came and we took her into the hospital. The doctors took one look at her. She stopped breathing. They ran her down the aisle, and just picture any ER movie you've ever seen. In an instant, this was our reality. We literally went from like our highest high to our lowest low of being brand new parents and so in love, and like you just can't imagine it until you've experienced it yourself, to like, oh my gosh, the Lord's gonna take this baby away from us. We spent a month in the NICU with Hazel, and we left with no answers. We just knew she had global brain damage. She was having seizures, hundreds of them to be exact. We didn't really know what her future held. We spent her first year of life doing therapy, and she had a feeding tube and feeding therapy and OT and PT and speech and da-da-da-da-da. I was barely alive. I was suffering from anxiety and depression. I didn't even know what it was. And then we got our life back together. Our life really felt like, okay, we can do this thing. We're special needs parents now. If anyone's gonna crush it, we're gonna crush it. And so I think Hazel was like right before 3, we decided we were gonna maybe try, but maybe not try yet. We got pregnant. And right after I got pregnant with Russell, I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. I had a massive tumor hanging off the end of my cervix, and had been physically examined by 4 prior doctors and misdiagnosed for about a year. Some would say Russell saved my life, and I would agree with that. So Russell was born, and back up. We did a cone biopsy while I was pregnant. We did not get clean margins. The doctors were worried about how fast the cancer was growing. It's very close to stage 2. So Russell and I went through chemo while he was in the womb. I lost all my hair. This is all post-chemo hair. People who meet me today would never know my story. People who see me at the grocery store would never know or understand. So at 35 weeks, we delivered Russell via C-section. I had a radical hysterectomy. I was cancer-free. Life was amazing. God was good. We maintained faith the whole time. We were like, of course, God gave us a perfect baby, a boy and a girl, special needs and not. And then day 2.5 of life came. Russell's lips turned blue. I saw it. I didn't want to tell anybody. We were still in the hospital at the time because, as you can imagine, it was a complicated recovery with the radical hysterectomy and post-chemo. And so finally I told my husband, who then told the nurse, and we went up to the NICU. So as I recovered from a radical hysterectomy, I literally forced myself out of the hospital bed into a wheelchair so I could go up and be with my baby. He was having seizures too, just like Hazel. You guys, this isn't the way that we imagine our life to go. We imagine raising kids that would grow up, kids that we would teach to not only talk, but read, write, sing, make friends, go to college, get married. all those things that your kids do. But God had a different story for our life. And I don't know why, and I don't think I'll ever understand why, but it's a story that has been filled with a lot of suffering. Somebody by the name of Johnny Erickson, who's been in a wheelchair over 40 years, she says, I believe that God has given me an incredible privilege because he has not taken away my suffering. And I believe that to be true. So as I began to cope and I began to walk through this and I began to grieve, walk through the stages of grief, I started writing, and I wrote Hazel's story, Hazelnut's Time to Get Up. And the book turned into a classroom presentation, turned into another book, turned into a movement, turned into all school assemblies. And you guys, today, I deal with a lot. I deal with the physical difficulty of raising 2 kids with disability who can't understand things the way that you and I can, but are getting physically bigger, heavier, more difficult. But I have a calling. I have a calling to share their story. And I have a calling not only to raise awareness about disability, but to raise awareness for children in this world that every single one of us was designed on purpose for a purpose. We all have a unique superpower. That's why I started the Hazelnut movement. You can actually get these shirts on my Facebook page right now. If you go search my name, Julia Ehrman. But God has really taken a mess and turned it into something that has a calling attached. And I believe that he does that to all of us. I believe that he lets no suffering be wasted, and that he wants to give each one of us a calling, that he has a special calling for everybody. I guess my question for you is, are you bold enough, are you brave enough to ask and to lean in to that calling? You guys, starting TikTok for me was not something that came easy. In fact, I was resistant to it for a really long time. But one of the things that this account has shown me is my calling, is the power of our story, is the power of the message, is the power of the joy that we have, even though our suffering hasn't been taken away. You see, we still have these 2 kids. Hazel's going to turn 7 this year, and Russell's going to turn 4. They're alive, and they shouldn't be. After Russell was born, they both got diagnosed with a rare genetic disorder in the family, something called NKH. It's a metabolic disorder, and as the doctor explained, it's a path that we are pioneering. It's not the path you want to pioneer. At the time we were diagnosed, there were 6 to 8 cases documented. We have 9 and 10. Now, I think that the reason why it's so rare is because most of these kids, they die 10 days old, undiagnosed. Ours lived. And I believe that there's a purpose for that. So I want you to follow my page if you're still watching. I want you to follow my page to be inspired. I want you to follow my page to be reminded that you too have a calling. And especially if you're still watching this video, I'd love to connect with you personally. My TikTok messages get totally cluttered, so I just want to ask you to message me on IG at @EhrmanJulia. Just say hi, let me know why you're here, why our story impacts your life, because you guys, I need that to keep me going. It is not easy to be an influencer. It is not easy to be a parent of kids with disabilities. Our life, our story is not easy. But I literally stay standing some days because of you guys, most days because of the Lord. So I'll see you over there in my messages, and I hope that this message today will remind you that no matter how hard life gets, no matter how much suffering you endure, God is still good.